He told me to give him 1 minute from when he goes back there. I'm wondering when he's going to turn my mic on. Okay. Yes.
I'll tell you good luck.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, thanks. Welcome. Are y'all ready to begin? It's always nice to get together and see all your friends. Well, welcome. Good evening. I'm so honored to be here tonight to welcome you to the 2014 State of the City Address. Before we begin, I would like to remind you all to please silence your cell phones. I'm Christy Reister. I'm the Community Services Director and a proud resident of Maricopa. On behalf of the city, I am pleased to welcome you to the State of the City Address. Presented by Mayor Christian Price. Please join me in giving a round of applause to the wonderful music we just had featuring Maricopa Music Circle. They sure did a wonderful job. It was beautiful. At this time, I would like to ask you all to please stand as the Maricopa Police and Fire Honor Guard present the colors.
Police officers, firefighters, veterans, honor guard, attend, whoo! Carry, colors. Forward, march, left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right. Color, Paul, ready, lead. Breathe, man. Colors.
Please stay standing as Hope Pedigo now sings the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red flare, their bombs bursting in air, oh, it gave proof through the night that our flag, it was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order. Off. Ready? Pick. Forward. Off.
Thank you. You may now please be seated. I know, that was amazing. In a moment, the mayor would like to recognize the council personally. So before he begins, I would like to introduce some special guests that are here with us tonight. Vice Chairman Kelly Anderson. City Manager Gregory Rose. Vice President Patty Kuchar from Maricopa Unified School Board. Member Scott Bartle from the Maricopa Unified School Board. And also a welcome to Mr. Buchanan Davis with Senator Flake's office. So Mayor Price is approaching the end of his first term as mayor and gearing up for his second term. A local businessman, Mayor Price is one of the community's strongest advocates. His participation in regional and national coalitions is helping Maricopa extend our reach and increase our awareness. He is the chairman of the Greater Phoenix Economic Council's Ambassadors Group, a member of the Maricopa Association of Governments Economic Development Committee, member of the Executive Committee of the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, as well as a member of the Community and Economic Development Committee for the National League of Cities, just to name a few of the organizations he serves on. Mayor Price is an enormous advocate of networking, meeting new people, and establishing relationships with citizens, stakeholders, regional partners, members of neighboring cities, and other government agencies. He strongly believes that good working relationships with these groups and individuals will help Maricopa become a strong, well-rounded regional player and directly influence the quality of life and enhanced economic development climate. He is the husband of Cindy and the father of 8-year-old Cooper, 3-year-old Cassidy, 20-month-old Calais, and they have one on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Honorable Mayor Christian Price.
Thank you all very much. told me I couldn't have bagpipes, but
Really?
I love bagpipes. I'm just kidding, they didn't. Well, thank you all very much for coming out today. Excuse me. I know it's a very busy evening, and it seems like every year the State of the City speech has more and more residents and people that come out and guests, so we thank you very much for taking your time this evening. It really is heartwarming to see so many of you take the time out to be here. I know you could be at home with your loved ones watching Dances with the Stars or something like that, which is way more fun than listening to me speak, but nonetheless, we really appreciate you being here. At this time, I'd like to take and introduce to you your City Council. So if you'll humor me here for a moment, Vice Mayor Edward Farrell, will you please stand up? Councilman Marvin Brown. Councilwoman Peg Chapados. And Councilmember Dan Franks. We have a few others that are excused tonight due to conflicting assignments, but I know how revitalizing it can be after a long day at work and a seemingly equally long commute to home to Maricopa. As many of you know, Maricopa's humble roots started as a train depot on the transcontinental line at the turn of the 19th century. For nearly 100 years, things were pretty quiet around here. But ultimately, it wasn't in our cards to stay quiet forever. We didn't ignore the explosive economic growth happening so close to our city. No, for more than a decade now, we embraced change, rapid growth, and the transition from an agrarian-only culture to a vibrant, modern, residential community. New stores dot our busy streets, subdivisions sprout from former farms and desert landscapes. New schools bustle with young, eager minds as dedicated educators prepare the future of Maricopa for greatness. Still, through the years, Maricopa has been about home. Whether it was the original residents of the region who made their homes along the river that gave life, or whether it was the strong, salt-of-the-earth families that farmed this area for a modest but rewarding life, or the relative newcomers to the area who have decided to turn the American dream into their own family's reality here at home in Maricopa. As I speak to you today, I am reminded of the line from the great playwright William Shakespeare, when he said, "People usually are the happiest at home." I live that line every day, and I know most of you do too. As you know, Maricopa is not an action-packed cosmopolitan community. We make no bones about that. Okay? In fact, we pretty much embrace it. But that's okay. Yet, we are not like so many of the other metro areas surrounding the Phoenix proper and linked so close that you can't tell where one begins and the other ends. We are so much more than just the generic extension of the Phoenix metropolitan area. We truly are a city unto ourselves, one with heart, with soul. There's an air about us that reminds each resident with the fondness of the memories of their own hometown, with a sense of community, a sense of place, a sense of pride, and a sense of belonging. For those of us who live and play here in Maricopa, I know spending time at home with the family is a precious commodity. As we look to the future, I want Maricopa's efforts to be focused on making sure that at the end of each day, you find your sense of home. 80% of the workforce in Maricopa leaves the city each and every workday and returns in the evening. Chandler, Phoenix, Tempe, they all call to us with their Intel plants and their sprawling office complexes and their even taller downtown skyscrapers. So many of us leave home and make that routine drive each morning, put in a full day of work, and commute back to our little sanctuary. While you are away, earning a living and providing for your family, as I would expect that you would, the city of Maricopa is working diligently to build a hometown that will make each of us proud. So at this time, I'd like to share with you just some of the many, many ways that we as a city are striving and working to make this a place to come home to. And hopefully, eventually, a self-sufficient place you will never have to leave. You know, I eat, breathe, and sleep this job every day. Just what I do. You know, I think to myself in that time frame, what if we didn't have to make that daily commute? What if through wise planning, aggressive marketing, lots of networking, and lots of good old-fashioned relentless hard work, Maricopa was able to begin attracting businesses and creating job centers. Every new community or city dreams of offering a wide array of employment opportunities for its residents. Personally, I'm no different. I too have those very same dreams and aspirations for our city. In fact, in this post-recessionary world in which we now live, I find myself thinking unceasingly about the myriad of creative new ways to attract small, medium, and large-sized businesses to the area. However, I'm also under no illusion to think that this is going to happen overnight. And as I noted earlier, we are a new, modern community, even though we are much smaller than our sister cities across the county line. Yet when I think of the Herculean efforts that our staff and our city council are constantly working towards to make the desires of our economic development effort a reality for a city our size, it makes me think once again to the bold words of Shakespeare when he exclaimed, "Though she be but little, she is fierce." You know, last year I stood before you for the first time to tell you about the many strengths that Maricopa possesses. I introduced you to the Maricopa Advocate Program, where we enlist ambassadors to help spread the good word of our city. Last year, our Estrella Gen property had just been approved and the developer selected to build our first of commercial buildings within our new business park space. I also told you about the Lower Santa Cruz River project that is so critical to avert major flooding within Maricopa. And frankly, with the amount of rain we've had over the last 2 months, I'm completely surprised and shocked that we are not the state's newest reservoir. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm also happy to report to you tonight that we have made some phenomenal headway in just 1 year's time. During this time, our MAP, or Maricopa Advocate Program, boasts dozens of residents and regional business representatives who tout the praises of our impressive city with its ever-growing lists of services, amenities, and economic development methods. This program is growing in size and scope each and every week as word continues to spread to those folks who want to be in the know. These citizens are literally helping us to rectify harmful hearsay, establishing critical business connection networks, and in short, furthering the work of enriching our quality of life here. In fact, who better to tout our successes and educate others than those folks who come home every day to the city of Maricopa? One of our many economic development projects we are working on is the Estrella Business Park. Currently, utilities are being installed, and the nationally respected development firm, the Boyer Company, is helping us in this effort. They are assisting us in moving forward with planning, designing, and marketing of the property in preparation for building the city's very first flex space for retail and commercial usage. Launching such an effort is impressive, especially an impressive project for a daunting task for a city this size, or any size for that matter. But an unwavering commitment from the city's elected leaders and dedicated staff helps to ensure the success of our first major destination for emerging entrepreneurs, expanding businesses, and relocating employers. Nothing says economic development like the breaking of new ground. Recently, we had that privilege at the new Maricopa station, located behind the CVS complex off 347 and Smith Inc. Soon we'll be getting our first Chipotle's and a Freddy's locations, as well as several other businesses that are slated to move in. But in essence, what we are really getting is new retail space. This is at a premium and at a commodity, and it's very important to us. As we continue to work closely with businesses and developers, and as we continue to mature in expertise as a city, we are always looking for more efficient ways to make doing business here more friendly. It's crucial. Perhaps it will be a new restaurant or a medium to large-sized business that will be the first project to go through our new 24/7 electronic plan review system. This new method of planning and permitting should improve our processes, create heightened accountability among builders and staff, and ultimately reduce costs and time for developers and businesses looking to relocate or build in Maricopa. I also know that soon all new development within the city will be working within our new zoning code. After 18 months of working on this formidable task, it is on the precipice of council approval. This was a citizen-driven task force with joint input from both our residents and the development community at large. After many years of borrowing the county's outdated zoning regulations, we are on the verge of having Maricopa's very own official zoning code. With the zoning code nearly completed, we will now embark on our very first long-term visioning session, going far beyond our typical short-term strategic planning. Appropriately called the City of Maricopa's 2040 vision, this process will also be citizen-driven to help determine what our city and our region should look like 25 years from now. The importance of this is that this will also assist this council and future councils to appropriate the necessary critical resources to accomplish the goals and the vision laid out by both the citizenry and their elected officials. All of you are welcome to participate in this process, and I highly encourage you to get involved in these public forums and let your vision of the city be heard and be seen. But our efforts aren't restricted to our city's limits and geographical boundaries. Our team's exceptional efforts throughout the state of Arizona and in Washington, D.C. have paid off big time this year. And getting funding for the critical studies and into the requisite plans that will allow for the construction of a highway overpass to be built at the SR 347 and the railroad tracks. Thank you. With continued resolution and assistance from our partners and friends, this task is no longer a wish and a dream, but a verifiable project and will become a reality. Thank you. Additionally, we were also successful in navigating the federal government's bureaucracy this year by receiving funding for initial studies into solving the flooding issues of the lower Santa Cruz Wash. This is a really big deal, as we were one of only 9 new starts in the entire United States this year, and we are also now one of the top U.S. Corps of Engineers projects in this region. There is much, much work to still be done on this project before it is through the gambit of regulations and funding requirements, but we are making real headway, astonishing headway, if you will, and are seeing successes that many larger cities and regions cannot boast. I'm also pleased to report Maricopa is now productively growing its own businesses. From the garage to the boardroom, our business incubator, the Maricopa Center for Entrepreneurship, is helping these tender new businesses pass through their tentative startup phases and into successful expansion. Through our grant efforts, we can now provide these homegrown startups access to over $100,000 in USDA revolving loan funds. These funds provide a self-contained bridge to those businesses in need of critical startup capital. Now, generally, we are considered a new and a young community, attractive to both retirees and young adults, seeking a peaceful place to live and raise children in a safe environment. And frankly, there's no better place to do this than Maricopa. Did you know that we are among the top 10 safest cities in the entire state? In fact, it's a great accomplishment. In fact, the city of Maricopa was recently listed as the 8th safest city in the state. This is due much in part to the work of our men and women who wear the police uniform. It is also no surprise that the police and fire departments represent the largest share of our city's budget, and for good reason. Our quality of life here in Maricopa depends on the safety provided by our dedicated police officers and firefighters. We are ever appreciative for the work that they do. There is so much to say about our police and our fire departments and the brave men and women who work day and night to protect us. Last year, we celebrated a new police headquarters just next door, a state-of-the-art facility. It has larger evidence rooms, holding cells, training rooms, offices, and is staffed by dedicated men and women who come to work every day to protect each and every one of us. Maricopa holds our officers to very high standards, and officer safety is very important to us. So this year, we have initiated a pilot program to install on-body cameras to our officers. This will improve customer service, assist in officer training, and increase our officers' safety. At the successful conclusion of our initial test, I hope that we can continue this participation in this program while expanding it throughout the entire department. Thank you. I would also like to point out that domestic violence has never been in the news more than it is today. And our valiant police department is being very proactive to protect our population and the abused. In truth, our department is the very first agency in Pinal County to develop, initiate, and train for domestic violence lethality protocols, with which they assess a victim's risk from potentially violent family members and can prevent a domestic violence victim from becoming a homicide victim. This is very important. Our department also has set lofty goals in building the public's trust. They have foreseen that this standard in professional outreach requires community service and participation. This year, they have been instrumental through their selfless participation in a variety of different things, such as the annual Shop with a Cop program, the Optimist Club's Bicycle Safety Days, the 4-hour City of Maricopa backpack events, and getting acquainted in our neighborhoods, or GAIN events as they're so known. All of these things help to build our community's trust and relationships outside of a confrontational situation, and our police department is excelling in this. But a growing city means that the need for diversified access points also exists. So this year, we will begin construction of a police and dispatch substation at the Copper Sky Recreational Sports Complex property that will provide for our own police communications, a regional wireless cooperative site, and an increased evidence storage capacity for many, many years to come. Not to mention, it will be another location south of the tracks. Much like the police department, our fire department has also undergone a transformation this year as well. And it too is working hard to improve services and ensure that our residents can count on this full-time professional group in any emergency that we face. Our fire department is continuing with its own professional training of each of its members, but it is also hitting new strides regarding its public outreach and safety training. For the past 2 years, the fire department has successfully trained dozens of volunteer citizens in what is known as the CERT program, or Citizen Emergency Response Team. These generous CERT volunteers respond to a wide range of local emergencies. They assess organizational structure and administer local first aid until our first responders can arrive in force to manage the scene. But with all of these preparations taking place with our Maricopa Fire Department, they do not stand alone. The department maintains its affiliation today with 28 member Phoenix Dispatch Consortiums, or a consortium of 28 members, providing for larger manpower and wide-ranging resources should Maricopa happen to call for aid. With so many structures, businesses, and homes, we must replicate the best practices of larger cities across the country and the state to be ready and prepared for the largest emergency that comes our way. So they have initiated an additional 24-hour duty chief so that there is no lapse in supervisory coverage anywhere in the city during major incidents. This is just one of the many things that our fire department is doing to make us safer. Just because our city is growing by leaps and bounds, though, it doesn't mean that our budget has to follow suit. It's very important. At the behest of the City Council, our new Fire Chief, Brady Leffler, took creative steps to reduce his budget expenditures even within his own department. He even has our firefighters maintaining their station's landscaping. Firefighters and gardeners. That's truly men and women of many talents. In fact, just the other day I had a citizen approach me about how he'd like to see that our firefighters wash and wax the police cars. Now, knowing those two organizations, that's probably not going to go over well, so I think we'll save that for another day. With the police department having moved into its first headquarters, the time has come for the fire department administration to have a permanent location of its own. So the city is moving forward this year towards construction of a fire administration building at the Estrella Gen property location. At the same time, and to save precious citizen dollars, we will also be constructing the city's first permanent public works facility, also located at the Estrella Gen property. Together, these things, it's just one of the many ways in which they can keep residents safe. And it's one of the government's primary objectives. But maintaining the quality of life in a city like Maricopa goes well beyond just public safety. So what about the time that you spend in our community? What does the city offer you and your family? We are a diverse and young city overall. The average age of our residents are approximately 31 years old. And as such, I'm proud to say that coming home to Maricopa means fun, family, and great recreational choices. But having recreational choices doesn't always mean that there has to be a cost or an expense involved. For example, doing more with less is the mantra of our very own Maricopa Public Library. They have truly worked miracles by offering classes and services that go far beyond just a building filled with books. Our library operates 58 hours a week, and with its actual size for the population of city that we are, it compares as one of the busiest libraries in the country. Yes, you heard me right, not county, country. That's phenomenal. The library also offers Lego clubs for the kids, Star Wars days, dress-up days, craft programs, special guest readers, audio and downloadable books and movies, and a host of other fun and exciting programs that run all year long. They also have an ever-expanding list of programming options for adults, including computer classes and an entire offering of cultural events, along with a monthly lecture series on the arts, as well as weekly film series, just to name a few. And yes, you can still get your books there. During this past year at Pecana Park, we have applied some well-needed TLC to repair the facility after years of overuse and literally loving it to death. Maricopa completed renovation of the east and west multi-purpose fields and full repair of the infields with help from the San Diego Padres head groundskeeper. Just another example of how we're willing to look beyond our own. Have you ever heard of the old adage, the proof is in the pudding? Well, I know this to be true, especially when speaking of our Community Services Department. We know that they are doing well because Maricopa just keeps winning awards, which is great. One of the regional awards that we have recently won is that of the Playful Cities Award. It's for the second year in a row, and this helps open up more grant money possibilities and opportunities with this important municipal designation. I'm also proud to announce that just about a month or so ago, we received the distinguished 2014 Best Arizona Parks and Recreational Facility Award for the brand new Copper Sky Recreational Sports Complex and Multi-Generational Center. Now, I have a funny story here. When they presented that award with us, or to us, unfortunately, when we looked at it, instead of saying Copper Sky, it said Cooper Sky. Now, Cooper just so happens to be my oldest son, who is also a Maricopa native, and is here with us tonight. So whether that's an omen or not, I'll let you all decide. Additionally, we continue to garner wide-ranging accolades and envy from cities and people from around the state. From Flagstaff to Sierra Vista, from Yuma to Safford, for this very state-of-the-art and very well-designed facility. I sincerely hope that you are very, very proud of it. I know I am, and I consider it to be one of Maricopa's absolute crown jewels. Where else can you go to find more fun with family and friends than at Copper Sky? So by a show of hands, has anyone actually been there? You know, that's what I thought. I knew you would have gone, and I knew you have been. So initially, when the city was studying the projected numbers for this new multi-generational complex, our indications directed that from the date of opening in late March, we should hopefully have had approximately 1,000 memberships by the 1st of June of this year, with it slowly increasing from there. Those 1,000 memberships would represent residents joining and utilizing this new attraction, with subsequent marketing and registration drives to follow over the coming months and years. But we were wrong. In fact, we were very wrong. Like the City of Maricopa herself, I'm not completely sure that anyone fully expected what would happen next. I am happy to report tonight that Copper Sky currently has more than 6,000 active members with a total membership of over 8,700 people. That number is without any official outreach or marketing of the facility. Incredible. I am thankful to the long-term vision of both our previous city councils and our valiant citizenry, who with their 2008 ballot vote in the middle of a recession vowed to pay for the construction of this facility. It was through their stamp of approval via bonding authorization that we get to enjoy its usage today. It has truly been a blessing to our citizens, the city, and our economic development efforts. Corner me later and I'll tell you lots more about that. For that, my thanks go to each of you. So thank you very much. You know, with the response to Copper Sky being so incredibly positive, I thought I would give you some fun statistics this evening. Since its opening, the cardio equipment alone at Copper Sky has gone over 127,000 miles. That's more than 5 times around the earth. That's a lot. Copper Sky averages approximately 600 workouts a day. 1,350 residents have taken part in enrichment courses. 1,300 children and adults have taken part in the aquatics program. Over 2,600 children and adults have taken part in the sports programs. And 200 plus members a day use and attend a group exercise class there. We also continue to cross-promote the city's Community Services Department and our facility's usefulness in a recent partnering with the Central Arizona College to bring further recreational and educational courses to the community at large. Finally, since the opening of Copper Sky, the facility estimates it has helped our residents burn some 7 million calories. That's important. With all of these magnificent achievements taking place presently, and with many more partnerships and activities to come in the years ahead, I believe that the days of hearing that painful phrase, "there is nothing to do in Maricopa," will become the lexicon of a bygone era. When I became mayor, I heard repeatedly from residents how we needed access to more educational opportunities in this city, specifically access to 4-year degrees. Now, as your mayor, I have no official say in the local school district. I don't have a say in their operations, nor do I have any particular authority over any particular school. But that shouldn't stop me or your city council from working to improve access to both the elementary school levels as well as higher education and bettering the relationships between us both. This year, as a city, we had the marvelous opportunity to partner with the Maricopa Unified School District as we promoted Maricopa High School's homecoming events. From an official mayoral proclamation of Paint the Town Red Week to utilizing Copper Sky for such activities as a giant bonfire and perhaps even the first homecoming parade since I've moved to Maricopa almost a decade ago. In return, the Maricopa Unified School District is improving its image as well as its grades, and it is also assisting the city as it actively participates in our creative economic development outreach to activities to realtors, developers, and businesses, all under the direction of our incredible economic development team. So thank you, MUSD. You know, last year I discussed the need for more access to colleges and four-year degree institutions. I also talked about my desire to bring an engineering school to Maricopa. I stood here and told you and stated that it is estimated that almost 50% of all of this nation's engineers will retire in the next 10 to 15 years. Well, I am proud to say that we are moving forward with this vision for Maricopa. And as you may have seen in the past few weeks, Albright College is now partnering with the city and Central Arizona College to bring the first four-year degrees to the Maricopa area. These initial and starting degrees will be located in the areas of business administration, applied psychology, and communications. And we aren't done there. Tonight is my distinct privilege to announce to you that we are moving forward also in a unique and creative partnership with the University of Arizona to expand their engineering programs to the city of Maricopa. After this address, a detailed press release will follow, but it just goes to show one more time how hard we are working day in and day out, and in one short year, what can be accomplished. Soon, it will not be such a crazy thought that your student can go to grade school and on into secondary school and then enter college and earn a degree right here in Maricopa. Not only does this help our visionary young minds progress, but it also provides the pipeline of local talent that is so critical to those relocating businesses and high-tech industries that are seeking a new home. This directly helps lay the foundation to bring high-paying jobs to the area. Now, it is without a doubt that Highway 347 is our lifeline. Whether we are traveling north towards Phoenix or south towards Tucson or San Diego, the 347 opens Maricopa up to the world. Unless you're trying to get to the State of the City address, at which point a train is blocking it and you can go nowhere. But that lifeline has become a choke point. And as we continue to increase our population and expand our amenities south of the railroad tracks, our residents and visitors will continue to get tied up at the railroad thanks to the approximately 60 to 90 trains that crisscross our city each and every day. As you all know, Maricopa is also the Phoenix metro area's only Amtrak station. So as leaders, we decided to rise to this challenge and see if we couldn't keep Maricopa's traditions alive as a train hub, but simultaneously move traffic without an inconvenience to either. After years of hard work, lots of networking, partnerships formed, bureaucracy navigated, and sitting through more ADOT meetings than I care to count, in July of this year, we learned that the Arizona Department of Transportation dedicated $18.5 million to our overpass project and put our project into the state's official 5-year plan. Can you imagine how an overpass will change the daily life of commuters in this city? Sitting there waiting for that train to go by can be so entirely frustrating. Having lived south of the tracks for 10 years, nobody knows that better than I. It is a huge public safety crisis waiting to happen at the same time. This $55 million project is no little thing. Folks, this absolutely is going to change Maricopa forever. It will change how we get around town, how we commute to work, how we visit our friends and family. It will also change the future outlook on residential, commercial, and retail developments south of the tracks and into our planning area. Maybe no other project in the next few years will change our quality of life more drastically or dramatically. But before we see that structure officially built, we still have a long ways to go. I always say that the state's monetary commitment in putting us into their plan is and was the very hardest part. But it is still only the beginning. We still need an additional $36 million to make this project fully built out. The state anticipates fully funding this project in the outlying 6 to 10 years. But personally, I don't want to wait that long. I want us to pursue each and every avenue afforded to us to speed up construction and get this project done. This first $18.5 million given to us by ADOT is allocated for the project design and right-of-way acquisition along the projected route. The city also has $10 million set aside for this critical infrastructure need. We have several partners to thank for their help and tireless commitments to our project. These folks include Pinal County, the Gila River Indian Community, Union Pacific Railroad, but perhaps most importantly, we owe a deep debt of gratitude to first our friends and neighbors, the Ak-Chin Indian community. And secondly, we owe an equally deep debt of gratitude to former Maricopa Mayor and State Board Transportation member Kelly Anderson. Thank you to all of you for your unwavering commitment to us and to this project. People always ask me about the timeline of when this project's going to be done. You know, no one wants it done more than I, but it's extremely difficult to map out, specifically as there are so many moving pieces that affect its progress. Currently, we are awaiting environmental approvals from the Federal Highway Administration, and then we can begin phase construction of the project. Barring further federal delays, we hope to begin the first portion of its construction by early mid next year, 2015. I do not think it's any secret that one of my top goals while in office is to ensure that the 347 overpass remains fully funded, on time, and on budget. We must continue to press on, staying vigilant, protecting against changes in the ever-shifting ADOT 5-year plans, and continually reminding the state and its ever-changing board of directors about the vital importance that this project is and means to the Maricopa region. But there is so much more than just the 347 overpass to speak of. We will be moving forward on Maricopa's transportation routes through the Estrella Gen Business Park with our extension of Edison Road. This road will connect through from where it now lies off the 347 all the way to Highway 238. This will open the very first, very small, but very practical loop system within the city of Maricopa. It will also improve traffic flows in emergencies, create alternative routes, increase property values, attract businesses, and allow for the better flow of goods and services from our local companies. We also hope to improve our transportation corridors in general by expanding one of our main city arteries, that of Honeycutt Road. We will begin widening that road this coming year, and this will also help with the preparation to ready it for the 347 overpass project. Now, tonight I've spoken to you a great deal about our successes and our vision for the city, about why coming home to Maricopa makes me so proud. I have no doubt that most of you gave it a lot of thought before moving to this dusty little former outpost. Most people don't just look at a map and randomly select and pick Maricopa as their place for them to move their family to. You really have to think about it. What is offered here? And spend some time investigating the amenities and our quality of life. But another great writer, one of my favorites, Henry David Thoreau, once said, "We should come home from adventures and perils and discoveries every day with a new experience and new character." So for my time as your mayor and as our time as your city council, I promise you, rather we promise you, that we will continue to work every day to make sure that when you come home from your daily adventures, you will find tranquility, entertainment, and ever-expanding business opportunities right here in your new hometown, the city of Maricopa. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. I don't know about you. I imagine you all feel the way I do, but I am so proud to be here and to work for this amazing city and live in this amazing city, have my daughter attending school in our wonderful city. So thank you, Mayor. That was just lovely. Thank you for being here tonight. The State of the City Address will be rebroadcasted on Maricopa TV and the city's YouTube channel, Maricopa TV. Please check the city's website for details of when it will be aired. On behalf of the city, I would like to invite you to attend one of our 2040 Vision Community Forums. They are beginning on Monday. The first one will be here in Council Chambers from 7 to 9:30. The city also has several events that I am also so proud to be a part of. We started our second Saturday markets last weekend at Copper Sky, and those will continue every second Saturday of the month through May. They are from 8 to noon. Also, this Saturday will be our second annual mud run. There are still plenty of spots left, so if you're interested in participating, there's going to be a lot of really great fun things out there to do, not only for participants, but families and kids. I actually had an opportunity to work hand in hand with my power drill and actually help the parks crew as well as the recreation crew to help build some of these amazing obstacles. It is going to be a spectacular event this year, big step up from last year, which I know is great. So I hope you'll join us for that. That again is also it'll begin at 8 a.m. at Copper Sky. The city is also going to be hosting a new holiday annual festival called Maricopa. That'll be coming up December 6th, so I hope you can join us for that. It'll also be at Copper Sky Regional Park, and that'll be from 3 to 7. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up for that. We will have real snow, and we have a synthetic ice skating rink, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So there'll be a lot of great vendors, opportunities to come out and support local businesses, and a great thing for families and everyone of all ages to enjoy. So again, thank you all so much for coming this evening. Please check the website. You can find more information about city programs there and all the latest news. So again, thank you so much, and good night, Maricopa. How are you? Good to see you.